Good morning everyone and welcome to the Archaeogaming Museum Saturday morning stream. It will be a slightly shorter stream today. We're not joined by Kharid Gaming today as he is off doing other things. So I thought I'd do a shorter stream picking up from my video that I posted on Thursday, looking at the Kharid dig site. If you missed that video, there is a link down into the description. If you also missed the one prior to that, there's also a link to that in the description. So this is following on in my series looking at the archaeology skill within RuneScape and sort of following the skill progression. Kharid is the first dig site you unlock after completing the archaeology tutorial within game, and in the last video we sort of completed the first part of the dig site where we completed or put back together a Zarosian seal that allowed us to enter the ruined fortress at the Kharid dig site, having cleared the rubble in front of the entrance. Now, I don't want to get too much into the actual, specifically the lore of the site too much, as some of that will be uncovered as we go along, so we can explore that together. And also, part of it, if this is looking at the archaeology skills specifically, and I don't want to get into too much with the actual lore, because this is not a RuneScape lore video, but we're going to explore how the game sort of presents the lore. And what I like about the archaeology skill actually within RuneScape itself is the way that it uses the archaeology skill as a method for delivering the lore, as sort of delivering lore, exposition, and the history, the quite rich history of RuneScape. And I think that's a nice way to do it, because, you know, if you're not a big quester, where generally how lore is divulged within a lot of games, if you're not into the questing side, you're more into the skilling side, or into the combat side. The archaeology skill has benefits for both those things, really. So you're not relying on the quests to give you that. I'm not entirely sure what we're supposed to be doing in this sector, so let's find out. Let's go and talk to Liam. Hey, I'm Liam. Have you seen this strange door? It looks like there's something missing from the wall behind me. Probably some sort of dial, like the other three. I'm searching around this area for a missing dial. You should try excavating in this raised area. Maybe you'll be able to find the code so we can get in. Okay, so we're looking for a dial in this particular area. But before we get into too much into the actual lore of this area, let's actually give these ruins a bit of an explore over here. So what can we actually access? So, I mean, graphically, yep, they definitely look like ruins. What happens if we try charging? I assume we can't. Batteries to charge this pylon. So let's continue having a look around and see what's going on through here. And also in the previous video, when still talking about the lore, we did go through quite a bit of the lore about the fortress and why we're digging here. So go look in that second video as well to find out about that. Got an archaeologist here digging away. We've got some more ancient gravel to excavate. So it really looks like the next bit we need to do to unlock more of the tomb is to try and find this dial. So we've got a deposit cart there for our materials like we did in the crate up above, so we don't have to keep on travelling back above ground for that. Got some interesting symbols on the wall here. Let's have a look. Kind of looks like a agility symbol. I wonder what. Oh, I think it is a agility course thing or obstacle, but we can climb up here to look at some more. Got another. Oh, we've got a named archaeologist here. Vico would much rather be drawing than digging through the dirt. Well, I'm kind of the opposite. I was never very particularly good at drawing, especially plan drawings. Let's see what we can find. So this appears to be an insignia cache. So these are some of the materials you'll need for restoring artifacts you find in this dig site. In my previous video, I'm looking at this site. I also did do a rundown of what the above ground excavation looked like. And there are certain things I was disappointed about, like there's no on-site flotation tank. Archaeological deposits appear to have carts dumped on top of them. So do go and watch out for a sort of a full analysis of what the above ground excavation looks like. But so there's not as much to look at down here. There still seems to be a complete absence of spoil tips. I have no idea. Obviously, I guess it's kind of represented by the ancient gravel that fills up in our inventories. Oh, I did find a pylon battery to help power that pylon. So it looks like the door and the pylon are the things that we're going to need to be looking at to uncover the next areas of this dig site. And this floating thing here above the deposit is, what do they call them? I can't remember what they called them last time. Chrono spirits. Or something like that. And you follow those, you get bonuses and more likely to find extra stuff. So yes, I guess as I was saying, the spoil is kind of represented by these ancient gravels potentially. But there's also a lot more there'd be a lot more spoil than just what from digging this area than we would probably get in the inventory. So where does the rest go? Maybe it gets magicked away. Maybe it gets... Oh, hi, Lockmine. Sorry, I didn't... I'm just completely ignoring the chat. I am good. I am good. Just doing a bit of archaeology within RuneScape. How are you doing? Sorry, just being sent some messages. So yeah, we are just doing a bit of casual archaeology today, continuing to explore the Kharid dig site, which is the first dig site you unlock with the archaeology skill. Oh, I've run out of infantry space. Let's fill my... Oh, my soil boxes also... Is it full? Oh, crikey. Can only store 50 in there. So I've just deposited... So I might have to go and do some flotation. And that's the thing also I was disappointed about this site. There's no flotation tank. What happens if we charge this battery here? On this site, but I guess that would make things maybe a bit too easy from a game mechanics point of view. If there was also a flotation tank here, and it sort of requires you to go back to the guild. Oh, I didn't explore what's down here. I didn't think we could get down here yet. Let's have a look before we go too far. So we've got another barrier type thing here that's blocking our path. So it looks like I might need another insignia of some kind, potentially to get past that, or maybe that's what these pylons are for. As I said in my previous videos, I am completely new to these, to the archaeology skills, so this is very much a first time for me. That is certainly a big door. I've got some more material carts down there. I mean, I guess in here they've not done much to shore up this very sort of decrepit looking stonework, and that's slowly falling into ruin. So I'm a bit nervous about being in here really without some proper scaffolding and shoring going on. There's a little bit over here. But if I was excavating here, I'd certainly be a bit nervous without the proper... Oh, hi, Jess. Thank you. How are you doing, Jess? So, what we're going to have to go and do now is do a little bit of the flotation tank back at the guild so we can continue our excavation efforts. So we're back at the Archaeology Guild now, and just heading... I hope towards where the wet screening tank or flotation tanks are. I'm going in completely wrong direction because my camera was turned the wrong way. So... we're out of run energy, and I don't have any energy restores with me. That's typical. It's recovered a little bit now. Where am I actually going? I'm completely... oh, it's there. Completely getting lost today. So during the sort of wet screening that you can do in the, with the archaeology skill, it basically, you have a chance of uncovering other materials that you'll need for restoring the artifacts, which hopefully I'll find soon. So again, we can continue seeing if we can find something new to add to the guild's collections. Last time we found a crossbow. which I really wanted to use, but you know, I'm very fond of a crossbow. We did actually advance an archaeology level while we're excavating. Did that unlock anything new? No, it didn't. So at level 20 we'll unlock a new dig site, but I'm going to see how far we can progress through this dig site and see what else we can unlock before potentially moving on to another one. I was going to say archaeologists don't just jump from new site to new site when something more interesting comes along, but I mean, yeah, some do. Or some in the position to do that, anyway. But we're not like that. We want to see what this site has to offer. Let's have a zoom in at what the wet screening looks like, which apparently to do wet screening in archaeology, you smash your hands at some water, and then you get stuff, apparently. I shouldn't really complain about the animation for it because it is... I'm surprised they put... And I'm very glad they put wet screening in, because wet screening is obviously a very important part of archaeological excavation, where you screen your spoil to see what may have been potentially missed during excavation, potentially because of very small delicate remains, environmental remains such as pollens and seeds, or very fine glass beads and bits of fragmented bone are things that often might turn up in flotation deposits at the end, at the bottom of the sieves. And we can cheat and quickly fast travel back to the excavation site. I think many archaeologists do wish that you could actually teleport from site to site, make things a lot easier, and make it easier to get equipment there as well. So here is the sort of above ground site that we explored in the last video. We'll do a quick explore for everyone here today as well. So as I said, you know, there's some things that it does quite well. You know, you've got boxes and equipments protected from the hot desert sun by these canopies. We've got some books and maps and important documentation that might be useful during the dig over in this tent. We've got a archaeologist's workbench, which is actually more of a restorer's or conservator's post-excavation workbench, at least anyway, and material container. And you've got a little bit of shoring on the up here, but you know it is does need some looking at. The sand is starting to seep through, and it's barely keeping those boulders from falling on these poor people's heads. Got some archaeological deposits up here, including an archaeological deposit where carts been parked on top of it. That's not good site management. Definitely not good site management. And again, some more bits and pieces, some more tents with various supplies in. We've got some heavy lifting machinery. A complete absence of hard hats though. Health and safety is obviously taking a hit. No health and safety. Do have signposts for where the excavation area is, which at least I guess is a good thing from a health and safety point of view. Signs telling people that there's an archaeological site here. And at least people are well spaced out. This intern is still sitting here. He was here last time as well. He's not going to be earning those extra credits for his module just by sitting there. Got a very diligent archaeologist here. And some other player archaeologists doing a fine job, I'm sure. But now we've cleared our inventory out of most of the soil, we can go back down into the ruins and continue to try and find, I think what I'm going to focus on is trying to find this seal for this door here that Liam suggested we find. So it's deposit these materials in the box and get back to some excavating. Joined by a fellow archaeologist. He just jumped in on my excavation area. That's very bad excavation etiquette. it's best to ask first. So we found some white oak, which is another material that we can use to restore certain artifacts. But yes, the archaeology skill is definitely a mixture in the game between, you know, work of a field archaeologist, post-excavation archaeologist, and the job of what, you know, restorers and conservators would do. So you have a mixture of different skills being employed. But from a game point of view, it's much better, I guess, to put them all under one skill tree. Just to limit the amount of skills that people have to level. And again, I keep on going about this, I think, in every video. But during the tutorial, one of the reasons you're given for becoming an archaeologist, why it's a good thing to level, is to find out about those stories. It's not just about the wealth and the power, which of course they do mention, and that kind of goes hand in hand with it being a fantasy game and being a skill that you level within a fantasy game. You know, its purpose is to uncover ancient magical relics from long-lost civilizations that can potentially be used to defeat whatever the current evil is within game. You know, that goes hand in hand with it being a fantasy game. But the fact that they do mention it's about uncovering the stories, it's about finding the puzzle piecing things together, and the reasons why, you know, I studied archaeology, I got into archaeology, and a lot of archaeologists get into archaeology. It's about those stories, it's about that problem solving, it's about fitting those puzzles together and then telling those stories. So that is it's a good thing that they included that, and they made a point of it being one of the main reasons. So I mean, that's really nice. So have we found anything else yet that might look like a seal? No. Lots of materials, but nothing yet which looks like a seal. Maybe we'll explore some of these other debris. I don't know exactly which ones in here might actually uncover it. What I quite like is also they have a survey mechanic. So it will tell you, by you looking at it and using your knowledge as an archaeologist about what kind of deposits these are, what you might find in, and using the contextual information from what you know about the site. Let's have a look at these glowing orby things. Let's not press those buttons before we know exactly what they do. That's probably a bad thing. Don't go into a random tomb and start pressing buttons. It's generally a good way to have, you know, boulders chase you or other things happen that might not be so desirable. Okay, so I can't excavate these ancient gravels yet. Need level 25 archaeology for these ones. Can I excavate any of the areas down here yet? So in looking at these ruins, they appear to be very fantasy-esque. I can't see at the moment many real-world influences they are taking. I imagine this is also going to be level 25 gravels. Oh, 74. as well. So again, to complete some of these areas, we may have to go to other sites first to increase our archaeology. I'd say this is my first time leveling the skill, So just trying to find out more about it, really. I have done, as I said, I have done some research. And looked at a couple of walkthroughs prior to playing, but none have been overly specific about you know, the progression of sites so far. Or not that I read into, because again, trying to let some come as a surprise. So we've got an oven here. Interesting. I should come back and study this later once I have access to a research team. You need to earn the assistant qualification before you can manage a research team. Okay, so that's something we're going to have to look into. Got some more material down here. Level requirement 25 for these materials as well. Lots of nook and crannies to walk around. I quite like that. You know, it's very much given the sense of a ruined fortress. What else have we got around here? Do a bit more investigating. It's level 58. Wonderful. So we do have a variety of materials down here that we can't yet excavate. So I guess in the meantime we'll return to the level above and continue a little bit of investigation up here. Investigation and excavation. So there were these bits here that we could excavate. Or that bit behind in through here. That we can. So let's go and do a bit more excavation in these deposits. And then maybe use that agility shortcut again. See if we can uncover more of the batteries maybe and actually see what that pylon does. And of course, see if we can uncover this door seal. And again, it's nice they've included the brush as well as the mattock. Don't know why they didn't include a trowel instead of a mattock. Archaeologists get very attracted to their trowels, and it does kind of look like he's trying to mattock through that skeleton's ribs. Which would definitely be an excavation no-no. You don't do that. So again, we're probably going to stream till today, just about 12-ish. As I said, it's a shorter stream today. Just doing a bit more exploring of this dig site. Do a little bit more research, and then I'll release another video again, probably on Thursday, where we'll continue to look at the dig site. There'll be other videos released during the week, or at least one other video released during the week as well, either before or after that video. Kind of depends when I can fit it around other stuff that's going on. Again, we'll also be doing some more posts on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, looking at continuing my look at the sort of history of gaming consoles, which I've kind of put off over or put to the side over the last couple of weeks in favour of doing some other projects. And again, we'll continue our look at code excavation and code archaeology. Continue going through the games in the computer handbook. This book which I've been working through the games, and sort of then posting my code excavations of those games. That is something we'll continue looking at as well. And eventually we'll get down to doing some retro gaming streaming as well at some point when I have that fully set up. That's sort of more of a longer term, at least using the actual machines. We may look at some emulators and analyse those emulators as well. Because I guess gaming emulators are essentially experimental archaeology to a certain extent, at least experimenting with recreating the software elements of an older console. And see how successful some of them are at doing that. So we've uncovered some more materials so far. No batteries and no artifacts yet. So let's climb back over this ledge. Up here is where we found a battery previously. And let's continue excavating. I think it was in this Zarosian insignia deposit, next to one of the other named archaeologists. So yeah, those are some of the things that I've got planned. Lots planned, so little time to do all of them in. It's always the way. Got so much planned that it's almost actually a distraction from getting any of it done. That's the problem. So but we'll get there. We'll get there. So we've managed to find another battery. That's good. And a lot more of these insignias, which again are useful material for restoring the artifacts. How is actually the stream doing? Stream health. Oh, we're doing okay. Not having as many issues as we did last Sunday with the Secrets of the Past Dion stream. I don't know what happened there. That was my first sort of in the series of Archaeogaming Let's Plays. So if you want to check that out, please do. We had a slight technical issue with the stream and a slight weird game mechanic issue that I've not experienced before. So we didn't actually, unfortunately, properly complete the game. So we're going to have to play it again at some point, which, you know, I don't mind. It's a good game. It's a shortish game. It's got sort of a built-in time limit, which is nice. Got another battery in our excavation. So again, do check that out as well. I'll also put a link to in the description for that as well, if you are interested. Oh, a third battery. So we're finding quite a few batteries. And an awful lot of ancient gravel. It's a 19 archaeology, so soon we will uncover the next dig site. As I said in my previous visit, ooh, interesting. What have we uncovered? Infernal Source Invitation. So that's having unlocked, reached 20 archaeology. We have an invitation to a new dig site. We'll give that a read in a moment once we finish excavating this area. I mean, as I said in my last video, these aren't designed to be guides, obviously, to level archaeology, and it's not necessarily the main aim in this archaeology in this series to max out the archaeology skill, although that may be a result. We may have to do that to fully explore what the skill has to offer. But it's not that's not the main aim. It is to continue to look at how archaeology is presented, look at some of these sites, look at any real-world influences or real-world links to archaeology, and just see how things go, really, and see if I still find it an enjoyable thing to do, people still enjoy watching it. But as I said, I've not found many people who've been looking at archaeology from an archaeogaming perspective, so this is sort of why I've decided to jump on and start doing this. I'd be really interested, though, if other people have looked at it, and to see their videos and see what they think, see their opinions. If anyone has come across that, please let me know. And potentially you can get a group of people at some point talking about it, which will be really nice. As a sort of podcast or one-off video, either in-game or separately, that would be really, really nice. Because again, this is all about sort of sharing knowledge, building a community of people who are interested in this kind of thing, and seeing what people's opinions are, you know, because my opinions are going to be different from everyone else's, obviously, or potentially, and that's okay. So a total of 4 batteries. What we'll do is we'll just continue to excavate until we get another 4 inventory, and then we'll have a look at this invitation letter for the next dig site. Again, in my last video, I introduced Archie, the archaeology llama. Here we go. And as I'm actually Archie in the game as well, they match. This was made for me by a dear friend, and it always comes with me on my archaeology adventures, both virtually and in the real world since. It's quite busy in here today. It's busier than this site's busier than it appeared to be on Thursday. Although I didn't actually spend much time in this part of the dig site on Thursday, as by we entered here, it pretty much reached the. We only got in here towards the end of the video, really. Does appear to be a door to a prison. I'm not entirely sure I want to open a door to a prison, especially in a fantasy fortress where things may still be alive. Even if this fortress is several thousand years old. You never know. Okay. Kind of filled that twice, so let's have a look at this letter, or this scroll. Archaeology, I'm well aware people generally don't view me with fondness, but I'm in need of your services at the Infernal Source dig site by the Jolly Boar Inn, which is in the Rock. As both an archaeologist and a bodyguard, Darv, my latest bodyguard, wants to avoid anything even remotely connected with Sorok Magus. Your past discoveries are spectacular, and together we shall achieve greatness. Signed, Movario. So as an archaeologist and a bodyguard, really? Well, kind of sounds like real life me, really. As my other interests I have interests other than archaeology and archaeogaming include various forms of martial arts, including historical European martial arts. So, at some point I'll be doing a video on Hellish Court, which is a very interesting game based on genuine historical European martial art manuals dating from around about the 17th century or slightly earlier. It's a game that's currently in early access on Steam. There's a free demo, go and check that out as well. Hashtag not sponsored. It is a really good game though, especially for an early access game. It's used motion capture to make the sort of the sword fighting mechanics feel more real, and they use complicated collision and physics engines to again make the sword fighting feel more or as real as you can using a controller or keyboard and mouse. Fortunately, it's not a VR game. That would be a really cool idea. So there will be a video on that in the future as well. Probably have a discussion with that with a few friends as well, both reenactors, humorists, archaeologists, and sort of get a conversation going about games like Hellish Court, which is representing a real period in time. It's set in the 17th century in sort of Eastern Europe, Central Eastern Europe, looking at real costumes representing real periods in history to build a fighting game, a fencing game around, which is obviously a very interesting idea. And again, using genuine sources for all those things to try to make it as accurate as possible. Certainly when I've been playing it so far, it's both a unique and familiar fighting experience. I think it's got elements of sort of classical or sort of classic arcade and console fighters, but definitely with sort of more impressive physics, and with the motion capture, the fighting looks a lot more natural and a lot more real. So yeah, I don't think we won't go to getting back to the actual what we're supposed to be talking about today, which is archaeology and RuneScape. I do tend to get sidetracked quite a lot. We won't go to the infernal source dig straight away. We'll see what we can explore here, and then see what else we'll need to go and perhaps do elsewhere in order to increase our level, in order to progress further with this dig site, which I suspect we might have to do, which is a shame. As you know, it'd be nice to be able to concentrate on one dig site at a time, but there we go. So again, I really do like, it's a bit crowded over here, but I kind of want to see if we can uncover this new seal we're supposed to be finding. Might have to go and remind myself by talking to Liam if he gave us any more hints about where that might be. We've almost got a full soil box as well. So again, we'll be continuing for about another 15 minutes. If anyone in chat has any questions or things they want to ask, please feel free. Again, I do like it to be more of an interactive experience. There we go. So let's fill what we can in the box. Re-talk to Liam to see if there was anything that I missed when we first talked. Any joy finding out this door yet? Not yet. Well, keep calm and carry on excavating. That's what me old dad always used to say. In the meantime, I'll keep searching for the missing dial. Wonderful. So no, just got to keep at it. Can't rush archaeology always. I mean, unfortunately, archaeology is sometimes put under pressure if it's rescue archaeology or developmental or development-led archaeology, but it isn't in this case, which is quite nice, you know. Nor is this a time team style dig with just 3 days to do it. We're very fortunate in this game that we can take our time. So we've leveled up to 21 archaeology. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Just another 119 levels to go until we reach max skill or true skill mastery. And of course, within RuneScape as well, there's also many quests, both in old school RuneScape and in RuneScape 3 or modern RuneScape, that allude to archaeology and have archaeological connections, so we'll also explore those. For example, in the most recent quest released for old school RuneScape, Below Ice Mountain, has an archaeological theme to it, and I did do a playthrough of that and a sort of Archaeogaming review of that quest earlier in the week. So you can find that in the chat on the channel. I will also put a link to that in the description as well. That was it's a good short quest, and does have some interesting elements when it comes to archaeology and how archaeology is viewed and perceived, I think. We'll go through some of the quests as well, both on old school RuneScape and on modern / RuneScape 3, as well as looking at the skill itself. We're also going to have a look at the museum in RuneScape and see what that is like. I'll explore that with my conservation hat on, and the work that I've done with museums before. So we're coming towards the end of the video. We've got some soil which needs screening, so I think we'll go and do that, and then we'll probably leave the stream for today. As I said, it was a shorter stream today. And thank you for both for Lock Mines and for Jessica for stopping by and saying hi. So let's go over to flotation tanks and start screening those. So again, I hope everyone is staying safe. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to keep on doing our best, and soon, hopefully, we can return to some sense of normality. And it'll be great then, because it means then, once we can eventually do that, could do a lot more in person with some people who I want to come in and do videos with. We've got some projects that we can then do, because we can then do them together. Hopefully some interesting projects coming up. Sort of long-term projects. I've alluded to them in previous streams. So just watch this space, really. Watch this space. Not getting a lot from the screen this the wet screen this time. Got an insignia. Not too far for a new archaeology level. Only about just over 400 experience. Which is about about a third of the way to a new level. So we found some more iron. We found some more insignias, which we can go and deposit in our materials box. So what does Drew? Who are you? Oh yes, he is one of the guys we talked to in the tutorial. Can you remind me about the basics of archaeology? Let's talk to this guy. What can he tell us about the basics of archaeology quickly? It's probably a good thing to end on. Not a problem at all. It's quite simple, really. You need to get yourself a mattock and then head to an area you wish to excavate. We have a couple of camps set up that focus on some pretty big areas of our history. These dig sites are full of untold mysteries. There are some smaller excavation sites out there too, just scattered throughout the world. Using your mattock, you'll be able to dig away and uncover materials and artifacts. You'll want to try and restore any artifacts you manage to discover, as they are worth a pretty penny to the right person. Now again, that's you kind of spoiled it there, Drew. You can check out the collector's notice board near the main building if you're interested in seeing who is interested in what. In exchange for your hard work, you'll find yourself rewarded with chrono notes, which can be spent to assist you on your archaeology journey. I guess at least that's the better part of it. Although, you know, they say these artifacts are worth a better penny, you are rewarded with chrono notes, which are used to try and make you a better archaeologist. So at least it's not as bad as it might be. Whilst you're out in the field, make sure to take notes in your journal of anything you find. There we go. Some other archaeologists dotted around. Helen, a panning archaeologist. It's an unusual name. Hello. Can't tell if that. Well, you're an archaeology. Yes. Hello, panning archaeologist. First name panning, last name archaeologist. Oh, there's two people called panning archaeologist there. Must get awfully confusing. So there we go, and here's the notice board, the collector's notice board that Drew alluded to. Just quickly have a look at that. So again, yeah, you can look at these other different people who are interested in various different things. Oh, the wise old man. Anything vaguely magical you find, I'm interested. Also, hats, because I have a problem. Now, he definitely sounds like an archaeologist saying that. I am disappointed about the amount of archaeologists in this game who aren't wearing quirky hats. That is something that needs changing, I think. Wear more hats, especially out in the field. I got museum storage. So I'm going to leave the stream here for today, I think. Thank you for everyone who came by and said hello. Or if you're watching this at a later date, hello from the past. After all, that's what archaeology is all about. Although not really, as we discussed in the previous video. And why Archaeogaming is relevant, but that's not a discussion for this video today. As I said, it's a shorter video today. There'll be a couple of other videos up during the week. There will be a follow-on from this video where we'll continue excavating the ruins, and I will be posting a video, an Archaeogaming review of the game Distancing, which is one of the games that I have previously reviewed on the Archaeogaming Twitter account. So again, go follow the Archaeogaming Museum on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you'll get notified when I stream or when I upload a new video. So until then, thank you very much for stopping by, and take care of yourself during these still during these very uncertain times. Yeah, and just keep on digging through it, keep on getting through it.